Good morning, everyone. This is Karl recording from Bedford, Pennsylvania on Saturday, September 21st, 2019. And today we're going to talk about two games. I'm going to do a preview on the Michigan Wolverines versus Wisconsin, followed by the Sunday's game, NFL game, the Detroit Lions versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to get into that right after this. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's just jump right into this. Let's start with the Michigan Wolverines versus the Wisconsin Badgers. I guess it's the Badgers. I don't know. Something like that. Anyways, Michigan versus Wisconsin. What I want to say, first and foremost, is I'm really disappointed with Jim Harbaugh. I think the athletic director really needs to start looking around for a better head coach. I would normally say fire Harbaugh now, but there really isn't any good available coach right now for Michigan or available. Harbaugh is one of the better coaches. I mean, he's a big improvement over Brady Hoke. Brady Hoke was a disaster, but Harbaugh has his opportunities, and he really is not as good as a lot of people might think. I was really excited when he first came to Michigan, but my point is this: he had his chance last year. Michigan was loaded with talent, and he was going really good up until the Ohio State game, and then all the wheels fell off. And the reason is he is predictable. The team is predictable. So Urban Meyer had his number. There's a lot of people saying that Michigan's gonna, Ohio State doesn't have Urban Meyer anymore. That doesn't matter. Michigan does not have a good team. They lost. See, the thing is, Harbaugh, I don't know what he was doing against the Ohio State game last year, but anyway, he had his opportunity. He blew it against Ohio State, and then it just and then everything fell off. The win against Ohio State would have got them into the college playoff and a chance for the national championship. There's not no chance for them even getting close to that this year. Why? When the rankings first came out, before their first game even, they had them at number 7. I didn't have them at number 7. I had them maybe at like 15 or something. And then they had a lackluster game in the first week, and then we all know what happened with their squeaky win over Army a couple weeks ago. They're currently ranked 11, and I don't even think they're a top 25 team. My prediction for this game is, unless a miracle happens, I'm looking at a complete wipeout. I'm looking at a total blowout. Wisconsin over Michigan, probably about 45-3. They can't score. Their special teams is horrible. Their defense is not good. I mean, they've lost all their players. They're just not the same. And Jim Harbaugh just doesn't seem to be the same player, and I just see a disaster happening. So I'm going to be doing my stuff. I'll keep my eye on the game, but I'm not going to be glued to the game like I normally am. I'm just really have bad feelings about Michigan. This is going to be a long season for all of us Michigan Wolverine fans, but it's the way it is. So yeah, I really think that the athletic director needs to start looking hard and fast, and for a coach, a high quality caliber coach who is willing to come to Michigan, because I don't see anything happening for Michigan. But for now, unfortunately, they're stuck with Harbaugh, and that's just the way it is. Anyway, enough of that. The Lions and Eagles. I'm going to. It's going to be a close game, and I'll give my prediction at the end of this. A lot of Lions fans won't like what I have to say, so but it's the way it is. The Lions can win the game. I mean, they're fully capable of it. The Eagles are banged up, but they're still a dangerous team. They still have a good defense, and Carson Wentz, if the defensive line doesn't do its job, Carson Wentz is fully capable of carving up the defense and scoring a lot of points. Now, here's the thing. What the Lions need to do and what they need to prove, they need to be able to prove that they can go on the road in an outside environment, whether it's warm weather, cold weather, ice, snow, whatever, that they can play outside of a dome stadium. They need to be able to prove that they can play, in any kind of conditions. They need to prove that they can play on the grass, whether it's a close game or not. But that they need to be able to come out with W's on the road in a hostile environment and on grass. Period. Until they start being able to do that on a consistent basis, they're not going to get any respect from anything. I guess the spread or something has the Eagles favored by a touchdown or more. So the Lions need to kind of step up to the plate. They can do it. They have the talent. What they need to do is the defensive line needs to finally show up. They need to get sacks. They need to get about 3 or 4 sacks on Carson Wentz, really, and rattle him around, or at the very least chase him around all over the place, because you just get him rattled, he's going to make mistakes, and he will throw it into coverage, and he will throw interceptions. But if they give him time, it doesn't matter that Alshon Jeffrey or Deshaun Jackson is out. If they give him time, he's going to hit his receivers deep. He's got an arm, maybe not as good as Stafford or Brady or something like that, but he's got an arm, and he will beat you. I don't see the Eagles running very good against the Lions, but then again, they need to tackle. Part of Patricia's comments on his post-game after the Chargers win, he didn't say it in these specific things, but basically what he said, even though they won, he said the Lions have to tackle better. He didn't say it specifically like that. Somebody asked him a question about that, but that was the point he was making, and that's absolutely correct. So hopefully, during this week of practice, he's been grilling it into his head, into the players' heads, that they need to tackle better. They need to wrap up, bring the person down on the spot. And Patricia is a defensive-minded person, so I'm sure that's driving him nuts, because there's a lot of missed tackles in the Chargers game. So they do that against the Eagles, they're going to be toast, big time. So they need to tackle better the defensive line, and if Jared Davis does play and start, that would be great with Jared Davis and Jelani Tavai. That could possibly shut down Zach Ertz and force Carson Wentz to go more into the secondary, and then if the defense is rattling them, then the Lions can win. But thing is, that's what they got to do. But now the Lions' offense, there's no way, if they need to run the ball better, and running up the middle is not going to work. Not with Fletcher Cox there. There's no way in hell that you're going to be able to run the ball straight up the middle with Fletcher Cox. That's just not going to happen. I expect to see more runs to the outside, probably Ty Johnson. I expect to see more Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson gets around the corner there, and we get Johnson and Johnson. That's what I've been saying. We need the Johnson and Johnson backfield. Have Kerryon Johnson go around wide to one side, have Ty Johnson go around wide to the other, but runs up the middle are not gonna work. It's just not gonna happen against the Eagles. Period. But they do need to establish the running game. They run out to the the sides. I mean, they're going to probably have to try some of these things up the middle here every now and then just to throw off the balance. But it's not going to. It's going to be about a 2 or 3 yard gain at the most. And the thing is, when the Lions get in the red zone, they've got to score touchdowns. Period. I can't. Not that I'm picking on. My blank. Prater. I'm not picking on Prater. It's just that when you get in the red zone, the object is to get the touchdown, not the field goal. I mean, if they have to, they have to. Prater had a bad game. I think he will bounce back if he's needed, but that's not preferable. A touchdown is always preferable. So they need to go get the sevens. They need to jump up early. They get off to a slow start. It's going to be a long day. And the thing is, Philadelphia is good in the second half. Giants can't go to sleep on the Eagles either. What they need to do is jump out fast, get a good lead, keep the lead, and then come back in the second half and be prepared for the attack by the Eagles, because this is what the Eagles do, and it would be a lot more. It would be worse than the Arizona game. It would be a lot more ugly if the Lions have a big lead and they go to sleep on the Eagles, because then they will be absolutely destroyed, and they could easily lose a 24-point lead to the Eagles, easily, if they go to sleep. So they can't do that. They got to keep going all 60 minutes. And but anyway, I'm thinking it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a tight game. There's going to be more scoring than the Chargers game, but I see the Eagles coming out probably on a last-second field goal, 20-17, something like that. That's how I see it. Anyway, that's what I just wanted to get this out, get to both games on here. Yeah, I had a lot of other things going on with IPTV. I was in that community and that sort of thing, and that's kind of why you haven't seen me for a few days. Plus, I had a lot of technical problems. Things happened during the middle of the week. But anyway, that's it. Also, I did a podcast this morning. If you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button and the bell notification. Also, if you're not subscribed to my podcast, head over to my podcast. It's on my homepage, my YouTube homepage. You'll see Karl's Corner Podcast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on there, on that channel, and the bell notification, because I'm doing a lot more podcasts too as well. So it's basically the similar video on my podcast, so I've got that there. So be sure to subscribe to that channel, and I will talk to you again next time.